I think I should be audible now, if at all. All right, great. And we also keep doing the camera glitch. All right. So, like we said, these are, as I was saying, these are unprecedented times. This is not something we've ever seen before. We've got, okay, am I still not audible? If I'm not audible, please, raise your hand to say if I'm still not audible. I think I should be audible now. Okay, great. All right, great. Now we can hear. Super. All right, great. As I was saying, this is something that none of us has ever seen before. We've not only have we seen an entire country in lockdown, we're also seeing large parts of the world where there are issues. And everybody is trying to be able to figure out their way around a new normal. And the new normal, when it comes to school, ends up becoming a really difficult thing to be able to manage. So there are a couple of things that do end up becoming a concern and an issue when it comes to how to be able to manage your time, and the fact that there may or may not be motivation to be able to manage your time. What is it that you're supposed to be doing with your time, and how to structure your day so where you are not losing out on this element, and you're not making it so where this time frame, when it is when we're still at home and we're stuck at home, we're still able to make the best of it, and we're able to then utilize this time going forward. So the first thing I want to be able to talk about is the element of motivation. So the first part that ends up happening is that motivation ends up becoming one of the biggest issues. uh, your brain is sort of already in this is summer vacation mode, and because it is summer vacation mode, it becomes very difficult to be able to get yourself to get up and do anything at all. So the first thing we do need to be able to remember is that this is not summer vacation. We are not we are not on summer break. We are only on pause at the moment, and you have to look forward to being able to use this time, if anything, as a runway, where you're gearing up to take off when you get back into school, or get back to classes. So because of that, you need to be able to remember that because you're not going anywhere every day like you used to go to school, motivating yourself to be able to do anything can be a challenge, which is why it's important for you to be able to answer for yourself, what is it that I want to be doing? What is it that I want to be doing if I was going to school every day? What would I want to be able to accomplish? And what are my long-term goals? So when you're looking at whether it's a career choice, you're looking at an entrance exam, you're looking at finishing up your boards if you still have one or two left. And I feel really bad if you've got one or two left and you're still, you're not done, and you're done, but you're not done. And it's a really horrible place to be hanging. So what you need to be able to do is, what do I need to do with my time other than Netflix and Instagram and watching TV shows? And what do I want to do to keep planning for the future? So the first step is a very simple thing. You need to be able to get up every morning. You don't need to get up at the same time that you used to get up to go to school. I understand that might seem slightly barbaric at the moment because you're not going to school. So an hour or two later after that, if that's fine, just get up, make sure you get some exercise in. It's important to do that. Now, every single platform has a whole bunch of free exercise videos that you can do. So that's a good thing, and you're getting to be able to use those. So use, do something different, try something else, and you'll be able to go ahead and do a little bit of exercise. Once you've got your little exercise in, make sure you eat your breakfast, you take a shower, you actually change out of your night suit. So please, no spending the entire day in your pajamas. The reason for that is simple. If you are not getting up and getting ready every morning, even if you're not getting into a school bus and going somewhere, when you stay in your pajamas and you don't get dressed or don't get ready, your brain gets tricked into thinking that it's on vacation. And that's the trick that don't want our brain to be able to do. What we want our brain to do is we want our brain to think it's working. And that's what we want to be able to utilize. So you want to be able to trick your brain into thinking you're actually going to school. Now, you want to be able to get up, get going, get ready. You may have classes that are scheduled now. Some of you may have started online classes with your schools, and that's a really good thing. You now have a lot more structure to your day. The aim of the exercise for us right now is to be able to see how we can build as much structure as we can into our day so that we are able to utilize this time properly. When you're able to structure your morning a little bit more, you're a lot more geared up to be able to do more. Um, and so therefore spend the time that you have to be able to do whatever assignments that have been given to you, whatever pre-reading you need to be able to do before class. You need to be able to get on your class times at a regular time and be able to get there on time, just like you would for school. Remember, your teachers are working really hard to be able to make sure that your classes that were in person are now online, and they are just as engaging and thus as interesting. And that can be very challenging sometimes, because when you're used to an in-classroom interface, converting a lot of that into an online forum can become challenging. So your teachers are putting in a lot of hard work to be able to make sure that your classes are interesting and you're able to keep up with your syllabus. Because the aim is remember, we are not on we haven't stopped, we are just on pause, right? So because we're on pause, for a lot of things that we would have been able to do in school, we now have to convert them to doing them at home. Now you've got the time to be able to do a lot of things. It may seem like the whole day goes by, and the whole day does go by if you're spending your time lying in bed and coming out of your room, or just staying online for a little while and doing your classes and then saying, it's all right, I'll deal with it tomorrow, and go back to watching the next show, or streaming the next season, or watching the new movie, or playing a game. I'm not saying that those things shouldn't be happening. By all means, you need to be able to do that as well, but you do need to be able to also use this time to be able to build. So once you're done with your classes and you're done with school, take your break, have your lunch, have your meal, whatever way it's scheduled, and then actually get on and to be able to do an online class for something. Take a language course, take an online course. Um, and this course can be anything, actually. It can be related to your subject area. It could be related to what you like studying. It could be related to academic specific subjects that you want to be able to brush up on. It could be related to completely unrelated sections, such as calligraphy, or music, or theater, or you want to be able to learn about psychology or sociology. Any of those things can also be areas that you go ahead and take courses on and classes on. When you are able to do that, it's a good thing for you to do. Why? And I'll give you the reason for that. Not just because it takes your time, and it structures your day, but the simple element of it is this. As an HR person, I will be looking at profiles in the long run to be able to see how were people who were stuck home at this time utilizing their time. Um, were they utilizing it to better themselves and to be able to augment their skills, or were they spending their time doing just about nothing, or whatever, just floating by? um, how we react right now to this current situation, with the quarantines, with the lockdown, with the abundance of time that you have on your hands right now, is an indication to me as a human resources professional, to be able to look at you and how you will be able to look at adversity. How do you look at a tough situation and find your way through it? Did you rise to a challenge? Did you say, all right, we're stuck in a particular spot. What do we do with it now? How do I make the most of this? Or did you choose to say, Netflix and Insta and Amazon Prime and everything else that I can get premium memberships for, and that's all I'm going to do and utilize my time for? So what can I use my time for? I can actually use Instagram to be able to learn a lot of different things. There are a lot of people who are, say, news channels or otherwise, who are using Instagram to be able to give you information. So Insta can actually also be a source of data for you and information for you. You can also use Netflix and Amazon and any of the platforms that you use to watch, whether it's Hotstar or anything else that you watch, to actually also use it as a tool for education. They have some really, really great documentaries. So you don't need to only be watching what would be otherwise labeled as purely entertainment shows. You can also watch a large amount of documentaries, and those documentaries could be in areas that you're interested in. It could be wildlife related, it could be design related. um, it could be related to true crime, it could be related to law, it could be related to pharma, food, anything. Maybe you're somebody who's interested in cooking, or you're interested in hotel management in the long run, and that might be a course you're interested in. So watch a lot of the cooking shows, and that can not only be something that you do to be able to learn about how a restaurant works, or what are the things required to be able to run an establishment for hospitality, but it also gives you insight into what are the new kinds of things, how creativity is used. All of those things can also be able to do that. So yeah, you could look at any of the different apps that are there that allow you to be able to look at things as well. You can look at elements related, anything related to Discovery, National Geographic, any of those areas still allow you to be able to learn along with being entertained. So please make sure that you're doing that along with not just watching entertainment shows, but using this to also be able to supplement that. Um, a lot of learning platforms have now made their talks or their courses free. Okay, please use this as this what you need to be able to do to be able to build your skill set. What kind of courses should you be taking? What kind of courses should you be doing? You could look at a course that is similar to what is going to be in the next grade that you're going into. So it could be a complementary subject. It could be, say, for example, if you're a commerce student, you could look at a course on financial markets or the stock market. That could be an idea. Maybe you're a student of the humanities. You could look at a course related to psychology, or anything else that is connected to psychology in terms of maybe memory, or maybe you could look at something like NLP, or something that is a little outside of the spectrum but connected to. Maybe you're a science student, look at a course related to aerospace or engineering, or machine design or design thinking. So many different elements. These are things that are complementary courses to the subjects that you may be studying. If you are looking at courses that are completely unrelated, that's also great. You could be a science student and also be able to take courses that are related to the humanities. Do not ignore all the other areas that interest you. Maybe you can take a course on creative writing. You could take a music related course, or even take a course related to, say, aerospace. You could take a course related to understanding how everything related to mathematics or statistics. That's going to be a great space to be able to look at. You could look at elements related to, say, artificial intelligence. Those are also going to be areas, and those are areas now that we are utilizing as well to be able to help us be able to learn more. So machine learning, artificial intelligence, history, philosophy, music, any of those areas that you are interested in, you should be able to look at. So if you look at, I mean, the story that's there, that Steve Jobs talked about saying that if had I not taken calligraphy, I may not have been able to take up and bring up the different fonts that a lot of the Apple products use. And his interest and his idea of taking calligraphy is what got him there. Sometimes subjects and things that you're learning that may not seem directly related to what you are studying can actually prove to be some really, really great inputs in the long run. So if you're looking at, say, a philosophy class, or you're looking at a class related to, say, history, that's going to help you as well. So a philosophy class will teach you critical thinking. It will teach you to be able to analyze better. And as you go into college, those are going to be skills you're going to need as well. And it's a good idea for you to be able to do that. Any skill, any class that you're taking is going to help build a number of things. One, it's going to help build vocabulary, and that's going to be required for any entrance exam that you're planning on giving. Remember, your entrance exams are on pause. They are not over. It's not that they're not going to be done. They're just going to be done a little later. It's going to help you with vocabulary. It's going to help you with GK. The more you learn, the more you read, the more you figure out around the world around you, All of those things are just going to help you supplement. So you need to be able to remember that. Because you have time on your hands, you're not obliged to only study the subjects that you're studying in school. You now have the opportunity, which you would say, I wish I had the time to be able to do this, but with my everyday schedule of school and tuition and this and that, I don't get the time to be able to do these things. Now is the time to be able for you to do that, and to be able to use this time. So don't look at this as I'm stuck at home and I can't do anything. Look at this as time of, wow, I got all this time to be able to finally do all the things that I've been interested in. I've been wanting to watch a number of talks about a subject. I've been wanting to read more. I've been wanting to do all of these things. I've been wanting to practice my drawing or any of those things, and you can go ahead and do that. All right. As I'm seeing this, I'm seeing a bunch of questions that are coming in on the right-hand side for the screen for me, which is in the chat box. I will come to those questions. Don't worry, I will answer those. I want to be able to complete my thought on a certain area, and then I will go to questions. So not to worry, your questions will get answered, and I want to be able to take those. If there are questions that lead, there are general questions that help everybody, I'll put them up on the screen as well so that everyone gets to see the answer to those and see what the question was that was asked. um, so not to worry about that, I will get that going. So what you want to be able to also do is, once you've taken these classes and you've built that structure, and you want to be able to build as much structure into your day. So spend time, if you want to talk to your friends, by all means, sit and chat with your friends, but why don't you make it also something that can get connected to a goal? Let's read a book together. Let's practice vocabulary together. Let's practice GK together. You could get on to a lot of the video conferencing apps that are allowing you to be able to video conference with a lot of people, and instead of playing Pictionary, you could have a debate or a quiz. Why would I want to do that? If you want to be able to do that, why would you do it? Why? Because you're still staying in touch with your communication skills. You're staying in touch with your ability to be able to converse. You're staying in touch with vocabulary. You're staying in touch with GK. You're staying in touch with being able to build those skills. You may not be able to attend an MUN right now in school. You may not be able to participate in one, but you can still take the skill sets that may come out of that, out of debate, quiz, MUN, and utilize those and build those. Where you would like to take your future is now truly and squarely completely in your hands. So you have an outstanding opportunity to be able to do this, and it's a great idea for you to be able to actually look at it and see how you can build from there. So talk to your friends, and spend time talking to them. That's also equally important. I am not at all suggesting that all you need to do all day is study. You should be speaking to your friends. It's important to connect with them. It's important to be able to see how everyone's doing, and it's important for you and your mental health as well. To be able to go ahead and connect with your friends and do that, but also try and see how you can build a little bit more out of it, so make that connect a little bit meatier. Yes, definitely spend time chatting with them as well, and having fun. That's also very important. So when I'm looking at any alternate courses as well, like I mentioned, say for example, music related, philosophy related, or anything else related. It could be creative writing, it could be how to write reports better, it could be anything that you're interested in. I'm watching talks about aerospace, I'm watching talks about maths, I'm watching talks about the Fibonacci sequence. I'm doing all of those things. I'm using all the different platforms that are allowing me all of this information. How is that going to help me? Anything I'm doing when it comes to reading more, or anything that comes to where I am learning something new, only leads to one thing. It leads to me being able to build two things. It leads to me building aptitude, and it leads to me building my profile. All right. How does it lead to me building aptitude? A large amount of my aptitude in different subject areas can be supplemented by online courses that I can take right now to be able to help me with my maths, with my science, with my social sciences, with my history, with any subject that you may feel you're struggling with. Perfect opportunity for you to be able to put the groundwork into it now, so that you're able to now, when you go back into school, into actual school, back into everyday life, you're hitting the ground running, and you've overcome whatever the issues were. All right, so you're following a particular syllabus right now, you're doing classes at the moment, but there could be certain areas that are, say, certain topics or certain fundamentals that are not yet clear for you, use this time to be able to clear that time, and you can use that to supplement it at your own pace, right? And you choose all the different platforms that are available to you, that teach you school based subjects. You can use any one that you feel most comfortable with. It's a good idea to check a few out, and that you can look at. All right. I'm looking at courses that are unrelated to my area of study, or I'm watching talks, or I'm watching documentaries. How's that helping me? It's helping me build GK. It's helping me build my ability to be able to connect the dots. It's helping me build my overall learning. And therefore, what do I build? I build decision making skill. I build critical thinking. I build ability to be able to look beyond the obvious. I build research skills. All of these skills are going to be important when it comes to being able to look at my aptitude and my profile building. Now I'm looking at my profile. When I'm looking at profile building, and when I'm looking at a profile, I'm talking about not only my academic scores, I'm also talking about other skill sets that you have. These can be related to sports. These can be related to co-curricular and extracurricular activities. Some of those may not be possible at the moment, which such as sports, etc., that you may not be able to carry on to do. But the other areas that are related to debate, quizzing, online courses, any of those areas, those are possible right now, and that can still supplement. When you're looking at college applications, you will be able to highlight the courses you did. Not necessary that the course that you take is a certified course. You can take a course that's a non-certification thing if it's just for your knowledge. If you want to be able to look at a certification course, that's fine as well. No problem. You can go ahead and do that also. So your learning your skills is not limited only to your classroom. Learning your skills is actually across the board, from online courses to courses that you do, to any talks that you watch, to any documentaries you see, to any movie you watch, maybe about a historical event or otherwise. All of these add to your skill set, right? So you want to be able to continue to build those. And this is the opportunity for you to be able to do that. Um, you are currently also able to go ahead and build life skill. All right, so utilize this time to be able to build life skill as well. What kind of life skill am I talking about? Let's talk about something super practical. Let's talk about something like a life skill like cooking. All right, when you go off to college, when you go off to live on your own, you're going to need this as a practical life skill. So utilize this quarantine time and this lockdown time to be able to do that. All right, you want to be able to go ahead and utilize this time to be able to build a life skill as well. Trust me, as you go off to college and you live on your own, you are going to thank this time if you learn this skill, because you will be able to manage yourself a lot better. So this is a great time not only to be able to build academic skill, but it's also a great time to be able to build life skills there. And what happens if you get bored? Okay, let's say that you get bored and you are completely bored out of your mind about what to do during the day. If you're getting bored, that's awesome. Okay, because being bored is one of the most important things that is required in order for breakthroughs to take place. I think out of boredom come great breakthroughs. So if you get bored, what should you do? Don't go to somebody and say entertain me. Please be in charge of your own entertainment. And by that, you don't need to be able to go to go online to be able to say, okay, I'll just watch another show, or I'll just go do something passive. Have a notebook with you, and you can use one of your old notebooks, whatever it is you want, and allow yourself to daydream. Okay, stare out of the window and daydream. It could be about anything. Maybe you want to be able to come up with what could be possible fantastic outcomes that come out of if we were able to get out, when we get out of this lockdown, and what are the different things. You could think of different world scenarios of how is it now, will people be more aware of what to do with the environment, or how they want to be able to manage themselves. So a lot of, say for example, a lot of science fiction is about somebody who got bored and used their imagination and imagined a whole bunch of different things. And there's an actual job related to being able to imagine the future, and that's a job called being a futurist. Right, you sit down and you use your imagination about all the amazing things that can take place in the future, whether it is technology related or food related or anything related, and they can be something that you can build and you can talk about. You can start making notes. This could be the next great business idea. This could be the next great thing that somebody needs to be able to make their millions. when you come at when you sit down and think about these things, who knows what you come up with. So boredom is actually a really brilliant thing to have happen to you. So if you're getting bored, awesome, you need to be able to use that boredom properly, and to be able to use it to the best of your ability, and to see what amazing ideas you could come up with. You could create the next masterpiece when it comes to art. You could write the most amazing poem. You could write short stories. You could come up with the kind of comics or the kind of graphic novels you would like to read. You could come up with a new fancy rocket design. You could come up with a new car design. There are so many different things you can do when you're bored to come up with and use your imagination. You never know which direction these are going to lead you to. So it's a great idea for you to be able to let your mind get bored and to actually be able to do that. Um, so remember, boredom equals breakthrough, and you need to be able to use your boredom to be able to do that to the best of your ability. How else can you learn? You don't need to learn only online. You don't need to learn only by reading. If you live with your grandparents and they live close by and you are able to video call them and speak to them, please go ahead and do that on a regular basis for a number of reasons. One, you need to be able to check on them to make sure they're doing okay and they get to see you and talk to you so they feel better as well. This is if they live far away from you. If you happen to be lucky enough to be able to live with your grandparents near close by, and you're able to see them on a regular basis, and they live in the same house as you, that's even better. Sit down and talk to them. Talk to them about what their life was like when they were growing up. What was it like when there was no internet? What was it like when you had only one phone for an entire, area of place, like a colony or an entire street? What was it like? What were shows like on television? What was life like when they went to school, when they went to college? What did they learn? Show them your books, show them your textbooks. You can use a lot of those options and be able to tell them, look how much change and look what else is happening. Why would you want to do that? One, it's wonderful to be able to talk to them. Two, that's living history. You get a great perspective into things that happened historically from a particular human perspective, and you're able to see what it was like for them to be able to live through that. Some of your grandparents may have lived through the partition. Some of your grandparents may have lived through different events that have taken place in Indian history, and so you'll be able to look at that and be able to talk to them and learn about that from a first-hand perspective, and not just what's in the books. Look at your history books, look at your social science books, talk to them about things that happened, what did they go through at that time. That is also all learning. So utilize your time to be able to learn from a person who's going to be able to give you hands-on information from what it was like when they were right there, right? So you want to be able to talk to your grandparents as well. So we have to be able to remember that our focus has to remain on during this time. We can't utilize this element, this time, to be able to say this is a break. It's not a break. This is purely, as I say again, purely a pause. You are going to go full steam ahead the minute this lockdown is over. We're going to go back to schools, we're going to go back to our exams, we're going to go back to entrances, all of that. This is the time you have to be able to prepare really well for your entrance exams. This is the time you'll be able to have to be able to do as many mock papers as you can. This is the time to be able to go ahead and supplement for your basics and your fundamentals in any subject and clear your doubts. This is a great time to be able to do that. It's a great time for you to be able to use platforms to be able to supplement your learning. So you want to be able to look at those elements and be able to utilize. You are going to go back full steam into academics. You're going to go full steam into being able to also cover up syllabus. So remember, there's going to be a lot of catch up that you'll be playing, because right now there's be limited amount of syllabus that's going to get completed. Not everything's going to get covered. Once you come back in, there's going to be a lot of pressure on you to be able to do that. If you're readying yourself now by following a routine, you need to be able to do that. You are going to go back to school soon. So if you're getting up late, if you're not following that routine, it's going to be so much more painful to go back when you are ready to go back. All right. So remember, structure. The more you structure your day, the more you get up on time, The more you spend time being able to do things in a structured manner, the easier it will become for you when you do head back into school. And once the lockdown is gone and we're able to head back into our daily lives, and we're able to take the lessons that we have learned now to be able to talk and deal with people. So whether it is the lessons of empathy or service, or what brings us together as a community, or learnings about how to be able to help other people, all of those things are going to come into play now, and you're learning a great deal of skills by seeing what we're seeing in the news, or how you're helping people around you. um, our focus needs to look at the future. We need to not look at this time on in our hands to be able to say, oh, I'm stuck now, what do I do? I need to look at this time to say, okay, here's where I get to be able to plan for my future. You can use platforms like Mindler, definitely, to be able to go through blogs, to be able to go through videos, to be able to go through information on careers. And so please utilize our platform to be able to do that, because it will help you be able to navigate your way through, to be able to kind of float through, to learn about different careers, different jobs, different kind of courses. And that's a great way for you to be able to utilize this platform as well. Our future based focus is academics. We continue to work on our academics to make sure that we're not losing out on that. We also make sure that we are able to practice areas where we're not currently academically strong, so that we're able to build those. And we also now supplement and build our profile. Opportunity to be able to take courses, opportunity to be able to take courses related to subject, and opportunity to take courses unrelated completely, that are merely and only purely interest based courses, and that can also massively augment your profile. So these are the things that you want to be able to look at. um, so to recap: structure, academics, and future preparedness when it comes to your skill sets. Perfect time for you to be able to use online platforms. And I did get asked a question about which platform was the most, which one was the best one. You need to navigate your way through different learning platforms to see which one suits you best in terms of what their interface is like, and whatever you are most comfortable with. So I may like a particular interface more, but it may not suit you as much. So it's a good idea for you to be able to look at different platforms and see which one suits you best, and then try out different courses over there. What's the pace? How are they managing it? And then choose the one that makes the most sense for you. There are a lot of academic platforms as well who have gone ahead and made a lot of online classes free. So utilize that time to be able to supplement your basics. I like to be able to use platforms like TED and TED Ed to be able to watch short videos and talks to be able to learn about different areas of work. So those are areas that you can look at as well. Now is the time. You have all the time to be able to do random search about saying, okay, let's do a random search related to weird wars. Wars that were fought about weird things, and you may end up with some really great talks and some really great insight. And that would be something that you'd be able to utilize, not only when it comes to your general knowledge. It could be something that you could utilize in a conversation with friends. It could be something that you could utilize in the long run when you're talking to other people, and just make you more interesting conversationalist. It could be something that get used in an interview where you could talk about something interesting that you know, and you can go ahead and use that there. So everything will have utility at some point of time. So you need to um, not worry about that, in terms of, if I'm taking this course and it's not completely related to my academics, is it going to be of value? Absolutely. All learning, everything you do is of value. I am urging you to read more. Please utilize this time to be able to read. Please utilize this time to definitely read the newspaper. I know when you're watching the news right now, a lot of it is very gloom and doom, and it can be very depressing. So limit your time to watching the news to an hour during the day. But definitely read the newspaper, because you get to see, a lot of the analysis, and be able to read more. So one of the great ways for you to be able to build strong communication skills is through reading anything that you like that is of interest to you. The more you read, the better you speak, the better you write, and that is going to be something you're going to need in the long run as well. So important for you to be able to do that. So read as much as you can. This is a great time to do that. Don't automatically go towards watching something which you want to be able to see on Netflix or any or on Amazon or Hotstar or anything. Use those to be able to watch your documentaries. Again, learning, and you get to see something that's fun and interesting. There are some really, really great documentaries out there. Definitely spend time watching those. Talk to your family, talk to your friends, definitely talk to your grandparents. Again, great learning. We're looking at element of building academics. We're also looking at building our profile. So let me now try and see some of the questions that have come across, and I want to be able to answer them. So somebody's saying that it's a difficult thing to be able to pull yourself away from television and watching shows. Yes, it is, because it's passive, and it's something that you end up just sitting there and doing, and you don't really have to engage your mind in it as much, which is why, like I said, create a structure for yourself, and structure it to where you say, I'm going to spend my time watching a show, or I'm going to watch my show after I finish these following things. And let that be, if you want, for lack of a better word, let that be the reward for having completed a couple of tasks. Helping out around the house is going to teach you things, life skills in terms of cooking, cleaning, sorting out your room. All of those things are going to be able to be there to be able to teach you skills. But it helps to create structure, because it'll keep you sane. You won't just float during the day. Your morning structure, your getting up, getting ready, all of those things are going to be important for you as well. A couple of my colleagues are online answering questions for you, so there will be specific questions that you may get answers to on the chatbot that I may not immediately be able to give you, like a college list immediately or something, but I will try and see what I can answer. You are being able to get some of those answers there. If you are looking at, for example, that you gave a particular entrance exam, or you're getting ready to give an entrance exam, you're worried about the fact that you may or may not, how you'll do in it. Whenever we have an entrance exam that we want to be able to do, it's always good to be able to have a backup plan related to that entrance exam. That may be a merit-based course that you can enroll in, if you want to be able to go ahead and try for that entrance exam later again. So good idea to also have a backup plan for your, for a course that you can do apart from whatever entrance you're giving. So it could be an engineering based entrance, it could be a medicine based entrance that you're doing. Some of these can be tough to crack in the first shot. I'm hoping and wishing all of you the best, those who will be giving those entrances, that you do get through. In case you feel that you would want to have the comfort of having a backup, then look at a merit based course that you can enroll in, and go ahead and enroll in that course in case this is not exactly the score that you wanted, and then go ahead and try again for that entrance exam later. But I would not say that sit at home and only do the prep for it. The structure of being able to go to college or being able to study side by side is very important. So it's important for you to be able to do that. I want to be able to just go scroll up, so you'll have to just be a little patient with me. If okay So somebody wants to know, if they've chosen the science stream in class 11, then should they go for tuition, or do they need to go to a particular institute? You need to be able to plan that for yourself, to be able to see if you are feeling comfortable with the subjects and being able to catch up with them. Yes, you should continue to do that. If you feel that you may be able to get a little bit more help on the outside, and that would supplement you, then you should look at it from that perspective. But I will not be able to tell you whether you should or should not get a supplementary course or get a coaching. That has to be very based on you and your comfort level and what you want to be able to do. If you feel comfortable, there are people who have cracked entrance exams without coaching as well, so it's not a prerequisite. So I suggest that you look at that based on your comfort level. All right. I am getting, I've got some great quotes regarding boredom as well. So great, that's wonderful. Thank you very much. That's a lovely quote. If you're bored with life, you don't get up every morning with a burning desire to do things, you don't have enough goals. Hey, that's a pretty cool thing, right? So no point getting bored right now. It's a good idea to be able to look at where are the different areas that you can daydream into. Who knows, we could have some super great futurists in the group here who come up with the next invention. So a lot of science fiction novels are where futurists have been found. They're the ones who came up in, say, 1932 or 1940 with elements in their novels about newspapers that you could read off of an electronic interface. So now we use tablets. And so that was somebody who was writing a fiction novel who came up with that, or about how groups of people were being able to communicate with each other through a device in their ears, which is where we ended up with Bluetooth or headphones from. So futurist is a great area that you can look at to be able to do. And where do futurists get their ideas from? They get them from their imagination and from being able to build skills that are not just related to their academics. All right. Um, so there are, so if you want to be able to look at college lists, or you want to be able to look at courses that are going to help you, look at the Mindler platform. You will be able to get a lot of information there as well. So please go ahead and check out the Mindler platform, which is www.mindler.com. Go on there, please have a look. It would be very difficult for me to be able to load on college lists over here right now, because the purpose of this webinar was a little bit different. So we would be able to go ahead and do that for you and help you out with on the platform with that for sure. When you're looking for preparing for anything, your study has to continue to be able to happen on a regular basis. You are going to be most prepared for those things that you are doing on a regular basis. Think about it. When you go to give an exam, the ones that you feel most comfortable for are the ones you've prepared for the best. And the only ones that you feel that I didn't do so well is mostly the ones where you haven't really prepared. So great time to practice your maths, great time to be able to go over the fundamentals for all your subjects that you're studying. Great time to supplement that, and be able to look at those areas so that you are continuing to do well. All right. We are being able to give you a lot of information that you'd be able to have based on the career library. We'll be able to give you information through the blogs. We can look at, there can be a lot of information that, that's available to you, in case you want to be able to look at, sessions, or you want to look at connecting with someone. You can post a query. There'll be somebody who'll be able to answer that for you. So you would be able to get a lot of help from the Mindler platform as well. The aim of today's exercise was to be able to help you understand how to be able to utilize this time best. This is your launch pad. This is your plane getting ready for takeoff. Please use this time wisely. Use this time to be able to think about what you want your future to be, how well you want to be able to do. And to be able to get up and get going every day, and to find that motivation to be able to do that. So motivation comes from structure. If you're getting up and structuring your day, and you know that you have a goal for the day, you know you will be able to get up and achieve that goal. If you need to make a to-do list, make a to-do list. If you need to be able to do a list where you're crossing off things, do that. But please make sure that you are going ahead and creating a goal for yourself on a daily basis, that you are able to look at and achieve on a daily basis. All right. So I just want to take one more question. How do I motivate myself to do anything? All right, wait. Okay, hold on. I want to be able to look at this question and be able to see if I can move this a little further up. Um, Okay, I'm trying to be able to see if I can move this question and to be able to broadcast it to everyone. So the question that has gotten asked is, how do you motivate yourself to be able to start for entrance exam prep, or to study, or just finish an assignment? Find it difficult to do anything that and not find yourself motivated, which is what I started off with. The motivation is going to come from structure, like I just said. So it's important for you to be able to build that structure in, and you can do that. So you want to be able to go ahead and actually create that structure and build those goals in. All right. So there are quite a bit of questions that are going on here. I would be more than happy to be able to continue looking at some courses. I know some of my colleagues are answering some of your queries in the chat boxes. So please keep your eye on that, and you can go ahead and do that, because it would be tough for me to keep answering those side by side. You are getting a lot of great information. Please let me know. I'd like to be able to figure out how we want to. I can give you a quick tip on where we can just do a quick tip and wind up then after that, for how we want to be able to prepare for any exam or studying on a regular basis. When you're doing prep for any exam, you want to be able to build structure. You want to be able to build a routine. knowledge and understanding, and anything that you see in an exam is going to measure what you remember. So it's important for you to have multiple exposures to information so that you are able to remember more, which means that you have to be able to revise on a daily basis. When you are going into class 10 and you want to be able to start revising and planning for your boards to do well in them, you want to be able to go ahead and revise every single day. I know it seems like a horrible thing to say, and it seems like a really boring thing to do, but remember, you remember your favorite songs only because you listen to them again and again. If you're revising on an everyday basis, you're going to be covering your syllabus on a very regular basis, and you won't need to revise a whole bunch of things when it comes to exam time. You would already have covered a large amount of that. So anything that you want to be able to do, no matter what class you're in, my advice to you would be, please revise whatever you have studied on that day on a daily basis. You don't need to memorize it, you don't need to do question banks, you just need to be able to go over your notes over and over again. On, like, so today's notes I go over, and I'm going to be able to remember a lot more, multiple exposures to the same information, and I'm going to be able to remember more when it comes to prep. That means when it gets closer to exam time, you are going to have less to be able to do. You won't have that huge a syllabus to cover. Your revision will be a lot faster, you will remember more, and you will walk into the exam just so much more prepared and so much calmer. Right now, what you will have a tougher time being able to do that if you are only leaving all your studying towards the end or closer to exam times. Then you're trying to play catch up, and that becomes very difficult to do. But a few minutes every day of just everyday revision is what you need to be able to do to stay on top of your game, and that's what you will need to be able to work on. All right. So those are some of the things that you want to be able to look at. So we've got a couple of other questions. Let me see if I can do. Great. We've got a little bit more information that's coming in through to you about Mindler as well. So you can have a look at that. There's a great link in there where you'll be able to go ahead and get more information on the platform. When you are looking at uh, so there, so Abhishek has answered really well one of the questions there, and it's a good thing that got answered. So any online courses, like I said, they do not supplement your co-curricular and extracurricular activities. This is only the fact that we're using this time to be able to supplement our knowledge and to be able to learn, but they do not supplement any co-curricular or extracurricular activities that you will continue to do in school. So internships, co-curricular activity, extracurricular activities will need to continue as is. Once you get back, the focus of today was primarily to be able to see how we can use this time to the best of our abilities and see what it is that we can work with. Okay. Any reading you're doing, any subject that you're doing, no matter what you choose to study, it can be from any stream. Communication skills, critical thinking skills, research skills, ability to connect the dots are going to be required across the board. Okay, so they're not limited to any one particular area. You could, if you want to be a engineer, a software engineer, you want to be a builder, you want to be an entrepreneur, you want to be in management, you want to be an artist, a musician, a psychologist, a hotelier, um, you want to be anything, you're going to need communication skills, because you will deal with people, you will deal with vendors, you will deal with clients, you will deal with people trying to explain their ideas to you, and how do you translate those into something. Every single career, every single job requires communication skills. There isn't a single one where you don't need them. You need them in some form or the other, either written or spoken, or definitely understanding. So you need to be able to look at um, communication skills as a requirement across the board. How do you build those? You build those through reading. You want to be able to build that through watching. If English is the challenge area for you, you want to be able to watch shows and documentaries, etc., in the English language, because you get used to the music of the language. Practice speaking as much as you can. It's all right if you say a few words wrong, it's fine, nothing will happen, nobody will say anything if you mispronounce something. Look up words that you don't know the meaning to in the dictionary, look it up online. There is a little icon that comes in that is able to say the word for you, so you get the pronunciation correctly. And that's how you start supplementing and building your communication skills. Use this time to be able to spend time with your friends, get online and be able to have have a debate about something, have a chat about something, and don't think that, oh my god, if I do this, they're all going to think I'm a nerd and I shouldn't be doing this and I should be only having fun. That's not necessarily it. If you're doing this, you're doing the smart thing because you're building skills that other people aren't. All right. We've got, I think we've got a couple of questions that there is a question that's come in about filmmaking courses being are they, how to be able to choose different filmmaking courses. I'm going to request somebody to be able to answer that question. That question's been asked by Sarthak Sood, so may I request somebody to please look at the chat box right now to be able to help Sarthak get that answer, because he's asked it a couple of times. I think I've seen the question pop up again, just from the corner of my eye. So just please be able to have a look at that, right? um, so yeah, we've come towards, we're winding up towards the end of it. I wish you all the very, very best during this time. Please stay safe. Please practice social distancing. Wash your hands. Actually, get up and take a shower every day, and then wash your hands also. And sleep well. Don't keep sleeping all day, but sleep properly, eat properly, build structure into your day. Use this time to be able to launch into the most amazing school year that you're going to have, and you are all going to do brilliantly. I am 100% sure of it. You can get in touch with all of us at Mindler.com. You would be able to get in touch with all of the counselors there. Please feel free to be able to connect with us there. We'll be more than happy to connect with you and help you. Get online, reach out to us. We're here to be able to help you through this. When it comes to any information regarding colleges, courses, how to build your plan A, B, and C, we'll be able to help you over there, and we'll be able to build that. But today, this is what I wanted to talk to you about. So stay safe. Be good. Help around the house, please. Don't lie around all day. Help around the house. Learn to cook and send us pictures. We'd be happy to know about what you've cooked and what fun stuff you're doing. So get in touch with us. We'll be happy to know about that, and we'll be happy to be able to help you out as we go forward as well. And we'll connect with you soon. Thank you very much for your time and attention. I appreciate all of you logging in. A lot of you logged in before time. Thank you for doing that. That's a really great skill. From an HR perspective, being on time or before time is going to get you places and actually gets you points in some books. So that's a good thing. Well done on that. Thank you very much for your time and attention. I hope you all have a really great day. And a great rest of the evening. Have a great rest of the lockdown. Be safe and take care. Thank you so much.